Hey, you'll have to apologize. My hair's exploded. The humidity's been crazy, and I was just outside for a little stroll, so I'm kind of poofy. But that being said, it's no surprise for the people who actually know me that I'm kind of the polar opposite of my mother, in pretty much every respect. And I was trying to sell her recently. We had pizza night or some get together, very low key kind of thing. We're watching Jeopardy because that's, I believe, the actual religion of the house, their house as well as mine, but well, split account, but you know what I mean. So doing that, and they always have those medical commercials. And in one of my earlier videos, and something I often joke about is when I become president, rule number one is we're banning medical commercials. And I haven't bothered to. I don't think my mom's heard that joke or anything. She just blurts out, she's like, you know what? I'm trying to sit here, have dinner with my family, a rare treat, and I don't want to hear about bladder leakage. Why do they do this? And she brings up a really great point that I never really put the two and two together. I just don't want to hear about it, but she really had a little more critical thought into the thing is they tell you all these symptoms or issues, and they tell you to tell your doctor to do this to get this medicine. Obviously it's an advertisement. They're trying to get you to purchase a product, or more so you're insured to purchase a product. So, this could be a very big slight I think a lot of people use against the medical companies and everything. And I believe there's a big enough split in the medical companies between the scientists, the producers, and the advertisers that we really shouldn't shame the medical companies. I mean, we wouldn't have Tylenol if it wasn't for them. We wouldn't have all these retrovirals and antibiotics and all these life-saving things because these scientists truly care. That's my personal belief. But the ad agencies have come in to tell you to tell a doctor what to do. And I think that's a gross, as it was explained to me, it's a grossly wrong way to do it. Is if I want a house built, I consult an architect. I don't come to an architect and tell him how to do his job. When you come in and you have these commercials telling you that you have BPD, ED, whatever, that's all letters, so you don't have to feel uncomfortable telling your doctor about your symptoms or your issues. You should have this confidence, and if you can't build it with that doctor, it's something you should change for, if you can, if your insurer will allow it. But, you should be able to tell your doctor, it hurts when I poop. Like, it's not something you want to tell everybody or anything like that, but he's a doctor, that's his job. You don't want to list these letters. I mean, hopefully he'll figure it out because you'll probably have enough of an alphabet soup situation that he'll have to ask you anyway. But the whole idea of, like, these things are telling you if you have this problem, that problem, you have this. He's the professional. He went to med school. I understand, like, a lot of people have a hobbyism in medicine, and myself included, but I trust my doctor a little more than I trust myself. And I don't think that's the dumbest thing I've ever done. But it should be very simple. And I understand the doctors are rushed, overworked now, especially. But, you should be able to sit there and say, like, okay, my arm hurts every time I throw a baseball. What could that be? Not, oh, well, I have tendonitis. Don't, he's going to then have to go through, you're going to go through the same thing backwards, and then he may or may not agree with you. But it's really this whole pushing mentality through the advertising agencies that is just so wrong on a safety level, on a moral level, and I think in a long term, in an economic level, you can say, oh, well, we sold 6,000 pills of Varaxium or whatever, more because we have these commercials on. Well, it sounds great. You made those product 6,000 times whatever the Varaxium costs per supply. But the problem is now you're going to be giving it to the wrong people, which is going to cause the lawsuits that we all see on TV. $70 billion for Viagradone or Transdermal being not working. And a lot of those people probably have made that mistake. They were saying, my leg hurts. It's got to be Hodgkin's lymphoma. And their doctor says, okay, whatever, and obviously because medical mistakes. And if you lie to your doctor, they can only test so much and check yourself so much. And I don't even mean intentionally lying, where you're just told these things, you have these issues, so you think it's this, and with some of these things that overlap, because your doctor's been pushed into looking in that direction, the overlapping symptoms could be that, so they're more inclined to look at that instead of actually see the real problem. But it was just kind of an interesting little little thing to point out that. And I don't think really a lot of people, go against the medical companies. I think that they should work on their advertising very seriously about that, though. But I don't think the companies themselves are evil entities. I think an entity is an entity. And I think by far the errors come from the drive from the bean counters and the mistake and hopes and and naivety of the average person. If you have really bad shoulder problems and there's something on TV that says it could fix it, you're going to ask your doctor, talk to him about it, and you should have that conversation. But I think a lot of people come into it the wrong way because they're uneducated. And I don't really want to fault people for not knowing medicine. I mean, I'm not a medical doctor myself, but if a TV commercial gets you to notice that you have shoulder pain, you probably have bigger issues than your shoulder pain. And I really can't blame someone for wanting to get rid of a pain or sickness or any sort of stress, but medicines are not a cure-all. So I don't know. It's just really kind of a neat little thing that she pointed out, and it's never really clicked to me. But yeah, so now even more so, if you vote Matt or Max, those medical commercials are coming off TV.